Welcome back to the Shop Mini RC, everybody. I'm Ken, and today we are looking at the Redcat Ascent 32 again, and we are throwing some Nexx Racing True Reservoir shocks on here. They do make two different versions of these shocks. They make the True Reservoir version, and they also make a standard single shaft version, kind of like the stock shock, except oil-filled and super high quality. But these little guys, they're pretty amazing. They make a bunch of different colors. They've got black and blue and red and green. We've got the red, obviously, the NX404R. You can pick these up on nexxracing.com. I believe nexxracingusa.com has them, and then obviously Direct RC. Now, these are SCX24 shocks, but they have M1.4 millimeter screw holes, which is what the stock shocks are here. These are M1.4 screws. And so you basically can snag up a set of these shocks. Again, I go real deep. I have a TRX4M video showing the TRX4M version of these, and I'll put it right over here. And it's a super deep dive video where I take them apart and show you everything inside. These are exactly the same, just smaller. They are 36 millimeter, which is right about where the stock shocks are. And they have 9.5 millimeters of travel, so a good amount of travel. And again, they're fully adjustable right there. You can adjust kind of the pressure in there, almost changing the oil thickness. And then obviously a preload collar here to adjust your ride height or to preload it if you need. I think they're going to work really well. They feel nice and buttery smooth. They're just a tad shorter than the stock shocks. You probably can't tell me. You can maybe see the distance here to here and here to here. Just a tad shorter. Not much at all. But I kind of dig that. I think the stock rig sits a little too tall. And so I like it being just a little shorter, but they still got a good amount of travel. You're going to have a good amount of articulation. We'll get the other side on here. I'll show you that. But I wanted to show this. The only thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get some hardware because the screws it comes with, actually, these screws might be fine. For some reason, this one came with Phillips screws. I don't think they all do. I don't know why this set came. This is a very early set. Yeah, and these are a little short. Oh, they might work. They look like they're about the same. Yeah, they are. Either way, if the stock screws aren't long enough or you don't want to use them, just get some M14 by 10s. And then you also need M14 by 12s. So the 10s are what you're going to need for the top up here. You can see we got a little bit of extra showing, as well as a 1 millimeter spacer for the top. So you're going to have to push the shock out. These shocks do not come with spacers. Because on a SCX, you don't really need them. But you're going to need a 1 or maybe even a 2 millimeter if you really wanted a spacer to kind of move this guy out. You can see there's a screw down here that we would hit on if we were to lay in too much. So they're moved back a little, but that screw is just for this rear tray, which actually isn't used for anything. So we're probably going to go ahead and remove that here and do the other sides and get our angle a little bit more. That'll give us more articulation and soften our spring and kind of lower it even more. So we'll do that here in a minute, but I just want to talk about the hardware you need. Again, you're going to need M 1.4 by 10s for the top and a 1 millimeter spacer, at least a 1 millimeter spacer, but you could go 2. If you go 2, you might want to just get some 12s, which is also what you'll need for the bottom. Some M14 by 12s, you're going to need that to go here. But that's it. Basically your screws, M14 by 12s, and a 1 or 2 millimeter spacer, 4 of them, and you should be good to go. And I'll put some links down in the description below to some screw kits and whatnot, and we'll see if I can find some spacers. I just have a bunch of spacers from all the SCX builds I've done, but yeah, I think this will be very cool. Let me go ahead and get the other side on there. I just wanted to leave it like this so you can kind of see that a little bit of difference there in the distance. Not much, but they are so smooth. Again, these are oil filled. You can kind of dampen them more and less with oil and with putting the screw in here more. They do come with a little hardware, driver, hex driver, Allen key, whatever, to screw this in and adjust that. And yeah, should be really good. I've never had an issue with these things leaking. I use them on all the SCXs, not all of them, but because I have a lot. But I use them on a lot of my SCXs, a lot of FCXs and TRXs, as well as the Hobby Plus stuff. Like basically every truck of every platform that I have has at least one set of shocks, if not multiple trucks having a set of shocks. I love the Nexx shocks. They're by far my favorite. Again, they feel super smooth. They're super high quality, a bunch of color options. There's spring options as well, I believe. You just have to find them on their site. But yeah, very cool. So let me go ahead and get the other side done. And I'm going to remove this rear tray because it's not really needed. You have tons of bracing with the battery tray here and the rear. And again, this is a totally stock truck, except for these shocks now. So let me swap it over. So one thing that's kind of cool is you don't even have to pull your wheels off to get these shocks off and swap over the shocks. You can literally just put your driver through those stock wheels and unscrew this guy, pull off this top. You're going to need a set of little pliers or something to hang on to that nut. But yeah, don't even have to take any other parts off. Super easy swap over for sure. And even on the front, you can pop it off without needing to pull up the front tires. Make sure when you're putting your screw through, you put it through the flanged side of the ball joint here, not this side, because if you put it on this side, theoretically, technically, whatever, it could pull through. If that O-ring degraded or fell off, you could pull it through. So always put it through the flange side. Same with the top here. So you've got the flange side where it won't pull through the housing. So definitely always come in through that side. Again, super easy to throw these guys on. Beautiful. Don't over tighten. You don't want to bind up your links at all. Actually, I think this one's a little too tight. You can kind of see, you want to see a little bit of a gap here in your link. There we go. If you tighten it up and it completely closes the gap here on your link, you've tightened it up too much. Against plastic, you don't need to over tighten it all. And then same with the top here. You're going to want to make sure you probably use some Loctite on these tiny little nuts. Get our screw in, get our spacer in. Drop that in, and then where did our nut go? There it is. And actually, just kind of lick your finger and it'll just stick. Oh no! Where'd it go? Did that seriously just happen? Oh, here it is. Jeez. Let's try that again. Lick your finger, push hard on it, and then it'll stick to your finger. And then you can kind of just hold it. Which side are we doing? This side. Everything's falling apart. My whole world's falling apart, guys. Jeez. Screw, spacer, mount, driver, nut, and screw it in. Make sure you don't cross thread these things. It's super easy to cross thread. That's why I like to kind of just hold it tight up against the shock mount. And there you go. And then once you got it on there, go ahead and use your pliers, hold it tight and snug, and there you go. And you can, again, don't over tighten it. Those are easy to strip out. You can use a little thread locker. There was already some on the nuts, but you can always use a little bit more if you want. I recommend the medium strength, the blue. Again, don't overdo it. Just a tiny little dab on the end of your screw, and you should be golden. Okay. I went ahead and removed the screws from this tray. We can leave the tray in there, actually, even with just the single screws in the back here, the 2 screws back here. Seems totally fine. It can move if you really push it, but it's not going anywhere. If you really want to, you could remove it, lighten it up in the back. Actually, that's probably not a bad idea unless you're going to use this for something, but you could just completely remove it. We'll do that. We'll just completely remove it. Getting rid of some of that rear weight, which is always a good thing. You always want to try to get a little bit 60-40 weight bias going on. Add the weight up front and as low as possible. Any kind of upper weight that's above your shocks, that is sprung weight, you want to get rid of that as much as possible. You want to try to get all your weight unsprung. So on your axles, your servo up here, your knuckles, your links, your steering links. These are like 50-50. They're half sprung, half unsprung. Your skid plate is sprung. But everything on your axles, that's where you want all your weight as much as possible. So removing this, it's not much, but it adds up when it's on these little tiny rigs here. All right, let's get that front one done. Again, don't need to take anything off. You can literally do it like this, or you can just try to turn. You can pop your wheel out, your tire off if you need to, and you've got plenty of space here. You don't even have to take the tire off really, but just figured I would to show you. And these are pretty tight because they come with Loctite on them from the factory. So just be aware they're gonna have some resistance in them when you're trying to unscrew it. There we go. You can see the Loctite right there already on there. And there we have it. Look at that. All kinds of springy, all kinds of smooth. You can see it sits a little lower. We also adjusted the shock angle, so that's part of why it's lower. But again, they're just a tad, they're like maybe 1 millimeter shorter than the stock. But man, they look good. They feel good. That's what's important. Not only do they look good, but they feel good. Yeah. Nice and buttery. Again, if you want thicker oil, you can throw a little bit thicker oil in there. Totally adjustable. You could also, again, dampen it more by screwing in the little plunger. There's a little plunger inside there. Just take this and screw in that little tiny grub screw. That'll give you a little bit more resistance. Yeah. So with the stock shocks, it's almost undrivable on this little course because it's so bouncy. It just bounces around. I do wish that we had a little bit better crawler gears for these guys, but because the slow crawl could be a little better. But it's definitely much less bouncy. Yeah, let's go. I do feel like they need a little bit more weight too. But overall, man, good shocks. Ooh, little steep, little steep. Whoa, jumpy for sure. Come on, you can do it. There we go. She's getting a little hung up on there. And the course is really meant more for 24th and 18th scale, but these little guys are a blast on it. It's super cold outside right now, so I figured let's go ahead and run them on this course. Yeah. Let's go. Very cool. This course is awesome. Awesome. We'll have a review on this soon. But yeah, Nexx shocks. Super easy install. Really quality shocks. Again, fully adjustable, however you want to do it. This thing will be so much better once we get like a brushless system in it. We're able to slow crawl a little better. The slow crawl just makes it look so bouncy and jumpy, but really it's the drivetrain. It's not the shocks. The shocks feel real good. It's just it's so jumpy when we drive it because there's no. We need slow crawl. We need some crawl gears, Redcat or somebody. Somebody needs to make us some crawl gears. Because this is just, it's a little too jumpy stock. Woo! That was my fault. A little too jumpy on the stock, but that's okay. There we go. Yeehaw! Like I said, guys, tons of different color options, and if you really want to get nuts, there's some really long ones, but at least we know that SCX24 shocks can work, and specifically the Nexx ones work without issue, even with the big reservoirs here, and I think they look really cool, feel really good. Appreciate you guys hanging out. If you got any questions, put them down in the comments below. Like I said, I'll try to link to the hardware down in the description. Huge shout out to all of our channel members. All these guys and gals get to see videos early before anybody else. They also get priority comment replies, behind the scenes videos every once in a while. Special channel in our Discord for members only that I am constantly monitoring. So if there's chat going on there, I like to watch and give my input and and give help where I can. But speaking of our Discord, if you're into Discord, definitely join that down in the description below as well. We have a Discord server all about small scale RC, from crawlers to racing to bashing, anything small scale. Tons of awesome conversations going on there and in there, and they have awesome builds people share and questions people answer and ask. And so if you got anything that you want to share or ask about, definitely join our Discord and become part of that community. They're an awesome community, and I really appreciate everybody in the Discord as well. If you can't be a channel member, totally understandable, but please click that like, subscribe, share, and notification bell if you do want to support the channel. Those are just a click for you, but they mean the world to me. And we're getting close to a milestone goal, so can't wait till we hit that goal. And it's going to be awesome. And we couldn't do it without all you guys that watch the videos and subscribe and support the channel. So huge shout out to everybody that supports the channel. And yeah, I hope you guys get out there and build something awesome. Build a car, build a course, build a community, smash it, crash it, bash it. Don't break the expensive parts. See you guys next time. Peace.